I need a haircut. But besides that, we're gonna be tearing this motor down today and find out exactly what the damage is, so fingers crossed. When this motor goes back together, shit's gonna look brand new, so I'm taking some befores right now so y'all know I ain't capping. So I got the heads off and I really only have bad news. So as you can see, the coolant is bright blue. I was suspicious of that ever since I drained it out, and I realized that it was a head gasket additive to help kind of prevent the head gasket from leaking. And as you can see, it did its job and it's real thick and gooey, trying to seal it up as best as it can. So because the head gasket leaked, as you can see in the cylinders, it's pretty rusted and it's gonna need probably like a 20 over bore to be able to get rid of that all. And it's in pretty much every single cylinder. This is the piston that has the bent rod, and as you can see, it's a lot cleaner than the rest of them. So this one got so much radiator fluid into the engine that it caused the rod to bend because the piston and the rod were not strong enough to be able to compress the fluid that was in there. And you can see the rust that's in there as well. So as you guys saw in yesterday's video, what happened when this rod bent is the piston came down so far that it touched the crankshaft and shattered the piston. Luckily, it's a forged crankshaft, so it ate that shit up. The crank is reusable. All of the pistons are gonna have to be replaced because it's gonna need to be bored at least 20 over. I'm gonna be installing Boss 302 connecting rods in this. They're like $32 a piece and they will handle up to 800 horsepower. They're a great solution for these engines. But what that means for this engine is even though it's a great block, it's a textured block, it's got the forged crank, it's definitely a savable engine, just needs a lot of work on it. It's gonna be so much time and money to spend into this motor that I'm not gonna use it because I have that badass built 5.0 stroker with forged everything inside of it sitting over there that is ready to go. So what that means is I'm gonna clean up the heads really well. I'm gonna upgrade the valve springs, the retainers, the keepers that are in there, maybe put new lifters in it and things of that nature. I'll do more research to figure out what's gonna have to happen with that. Put adjustable timing gears on it, billet tensioners, upgraded cam chains, and pretty much everything. I'm gonna do everything that I can to make that engine last. That's an engine that would cost probably about like $7,000 or $8,000 for me to recreate it. So I'm not gonna come up $100 short on some quality parts that'll fail and cause that engine to blow up. So that's sad because I'm gonna have to spend a lot more money on this than I was anticipating, but it's exciting because when this thing's put together, even when it's naturally aspirated, it's gonna be a badass engine. So I'm excited about that. So as soon as I get my valve spring compressor tool, I'm gonna go ahead and pop out all the valves, clean up the heads as much as I possibly can, send them over to Honeycut to get them decked because they're probably warped as a result of the head gasket or if it overheated or anything like that. So I'm gonna go through the heads, get those ready. I'm gonna order up a bunch of MMR parts for that engine over there, and then we'll slap it all together. It honestly is kind of exciting that I'm using that engine because for me to get this thing machined and do all of that process, it would take a lot of time, but that engine's ready to go. So as soon as those heads are good, as soon as I have all the parts, I'm just gonna throw it right back together. So just sucks because that's a lot of expensive parts that I need to put this engine back together. So tonight I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna do all of the numbers, figure out all the parts I wanna put in there, figure out how much it'll cost, make a plan of how I'm gonna make that happen. So it's kind of sad, but it's exciting at the same time. And I'm a little stressed out, so I'm gonna go skate after I clean the shop. you.